Please join us for In the Works, a weekly update of public works projects for the City of Kingsport. Now to the host of In the Works, Public Works Director Ryan McReynolds.
Well, thank you for joining us again for another edition of In the Works. It's where we at the Kingsport Public Works try and provide the citizens of Kingsport and those around us different insights into public works and what's happening within the Public Works Department of the City of Kingsport. I'm Ryan McReynolds, a Public Works Director for the City of Kingsport, and today we're going to talk about a new utility that has been created within the City of Kingsport called the stormwater utility. And we'll go through the what's, the whys, and the hows, and the whens with the stormwater utility. And the first question is, why a stormwater utility? And what the stormwater utility allows us to do is to address, first of all, long-standing issues within the city. These are flood-prone issues that throughout the City of Kingsport have not been remedied, and we need a dedicated funding source that would be spent solely on addressing these long-standing flooding issues. But primarily it is a mechanism that will allow us to meet mandates that were placed upon us by the U.S. EPA and the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation related to our maintenance and control of the stream quality, river qualities that are within the City of Kingsport. What is stormwater would be a good question to start with, because we do call ourselves a stormwater utility, so we need to define what is stormwater. Stormwater is that which runs off your property or the streets or parking lots or roofs that is caused by rain or snow. And if you can imagine, in the natural environment before Kingsport was here, the bulk of what stormwater fell on this land soaked into the ground and was filtered out through just the natural ground and found its way into the streams and creeks through groundwater. And when we came and we built our city and built houses, built buildings, built shopping centers, parking lots, churches, we created an urban setting within that natural environment. And when that occurred, then we're taking stormwater that once went into the ground and we're carrying it across the ground, transporting it through whether it's overground or in the pipes to the receiving streams and rivers. And as we do that, it will pick up pollutants and debris. And this is the genesis of what has created the stormwater utility. The need for it is as it picks up the pollutants and debris, then when it does hit the streams and the rivers, it deposits that pollutants, those debris, and has created polluted rivers, polluted streams, and that is what is has caused the U.S. EPA through the Clean Water Act and then Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation to make us responsible for returning those streams to their natural environment as much as possible. And one thing that the Tennessee Department of Environment does is they rate our streams as to their ability to meet their intended use. And the map that I'm showing here is a map of the different streams within the City of Kingsport, and all the streams that are colored in red are what are considered impaired. That means the stream is not functioning as it is intended to function. And just to kind of come in, make a little more clear understanding of what I'm talking about, I'll describe the Mad Branch, which runs through a portion of town, and Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation has said that that stream is impacted because of habitat alteration. Reedy Creek right above it is impacted not only through habitat alteration but the deposit of siltation. Both of those issues are urban issues. We once had a natural stream that was viable. It allowed plant life, it allowed aquatic life, and if you go to those streams now, it definitely reflects the urban environment around it. Through the years, the streams have been widened and shallow, created a more shallow pool, and in that environment, the growth that had naturally occurred is not occurring. And Reedy Creek, with the development, the parking lots, the driveways, the houses, all the stuff that the stormwater is collecting on its way from the clouds through the air to the land to the streams is being deposited in that stream. So those are just examples of when I say that our streams are polluted or impaired, what I'm speaking of. Again, we're, as a city, the citizens of Kingsport are going to be held responsible for the steps moving forward, trying to take these streams from where they're at now and try and place them in their natural state again. And so one way to do that, we need an underlying funding mechanism. We need a utility that, that would help fund these projects. And what will the utility do? Again, as I mentioned, it will address the contamination of the waterways within the city. It will also allow us to prioritize and initiate select flood mitigation projects within the city. And many people, when they think about the stormwater fee, they're going to think that the stormwater doesn't impact them. And that's true. There's a select few people that stormwater impacts, probably within the city of Kingsport, but it impacts them in a great way. While not everyone is impacted by stormwater, everyone impacts stormwater. There is a creation that your house, your driveway, the roads you enjoy are contributing to these problems. And it will give us a mechanism as a community to address these problems. And these are just some pictures of problems that we have experienced in different roadways, different neighborhoods throughout Kingsport. And as you can see, these are not acceptable conditions to live adjacent to live in. And this will give us the mechanism in these community issues to address them effectively. But why a utility? Why not just add this to the various other city functions? One reason is, or the primary reason is the equity. What is equitable? The various city functions are supported through tax revenue. And what we wanted to do is really cause those that are contributing most to this issue to pay the most, and those that are contributing the least to pay the least. Taxes are not geared in that direction. They're geared more on how much you spend or on the value of your property. So we spent about 2 years with a committee of 12 individuals throughout the city, ranging from commercial, residential, retail, nonprofit, churches, and industrial. And as we've wrestled with this issue, we all feel that the most equitable way to do this is through a user fee or a utility. And now I'll describe what that would, the impact of that user fee or utility on the individuals that reside within the city of Kingsport or do business in the city of Kingsport. The vast majority of the bills that will go out are going to be the single-family houses, just like a water or sewer bill. It's going to be in your utility bill. And the average house with impervious coverage, that's your house, driveway, all that combined, will be charged one unit. And that charge is $3.50 per month. What we also did as a committee is determine that the smaller the house, the less the charge. So there's going to be a subset of smaller units, less impervious area, at $2.45 per month. And this again goes back to trying to define who's impacting these streams, these waterways, and who is not. And on the larger side, if you have a very large sprawling house with a lot of impervious driveway, then there will be a group that will be charged $4.90 a month based upon their impact. All non-single family residential, apartments, condominiums, those type dwellings will be charged $2.10 per month, and that's because their contributing impact is much less than a single family house. And then we get to the larger users, the non-residential users. This is your commercial, industrial, nonprofits, churches, and what we have done there is taken each one of those and calculated their actual impervious area, parking lots, rooftops, and all of that, and we have equated it back to a ratio to that single family resident, and then we're charging them in kind to that ratio. I'll go through an example. I know that's confusing, so I'll go through a quick example of how we're going to do that. If you had a building that was a 2,000 square foot building and you had a 5,000 square foot parking lot for a total impervious area, 7,000 square feet, we would take that 7,000 square feet and divide it by the average impervious area of a house, which is one single family unit. And the ratio there would be 1.845 impacts from the commercial property to the single family. And then we would multiply that by the $3.50, and that commercial property would be charged $6.46. So the rationale there is really to cause those that are making the most impact to pay the most, to make it proportional, the payment toward this utility to be proportional to the impact that your property is contributing toward the utility. In the December water bill, the utility bill, there's more information. We're going to have information going out in December and January, and I hope to get back with some more video shoots on in the works to more describe the impacts of this utility, the benefits of what you should see in the near future, and also what you should expect once the bills start arriving in February. And if you do have questions about this, we've got 2 individuals assigned to address these questions as best we can, and that is Dan Wonkel at 224-2727 and Steve Robbins at 245-2167. And we appreciate your time and attention, and thank you again for joining us for this section of In the Works.